Hello and a very good afternoon to all of those joining me live on the Newsline digital page. I'm Neha. Now, ever since the outbreak of coronavirus infection, we've been coming across many new terms, some answered while some remain unanswered. In fact, with each passing day, one is getting to realize that COVID is far more dangerous and likely to leave a longer impact than we initially thought. There is virus, there are symptoms, and then there are symptoms post-recovery, which we're going to talk about in this show. Even after recuperating from coronavirus infection, people are dealing with many challenges. One such challenge is long COVID. Many of you might have heard about it. Now, many people are in fact suffering from breathlessness, cough, extreme fatigue, and other such ailments. Long COVID may be affecting those who have recovered from the virus in 4 different ways, which include permanent organ damage, post-intensive care syndrome, post-infection fatigue syndrome, and long-term COVID syndrome. The National Institute for Health Research report stated that thousands of people could be living with ongoing COVID. For some, this is related to their rehabilitation following a hospital admission, but others are reporting life-changing experiences that follow an initial infection that they managed at home, with symptoms becoming more severe over time, quote unquote. Now, there are people who are suffering even months after recuperating from the deadly virus, as the researchers also claim. Now, to give us some more insight as to what really long COVID means, joining me live is Dr. Sitesh Roy, who is a clinical immunologist. Many thanks, Doctor, for joining us on this show. My first question to you would be, sir, break it down for our viewers. What really does a long COVID mean, and why is it important for all to know about this, particularly those who have tested negative for coronavirus?
Sure, Neha. Long COVID essentially means that a person typically from a COVID infection recovers in 10 to 14 days if it's a mild disease, and if it's a moderate to severe disease, they recover between 3 to 4 weeks. But for some people, even after recovering and even after their nasopharyngeal swab comes negative, which means there's no viral shedding going on and they are likely to be non-infectious to other people, they can then have either relapse or recurrence of their symptoms, or they can have new onset symptoms that they did not experience before. And this is what long COVID stands for. It seems to be the sequelae of the COVID-19 infection, which can present in multiple different ways for different people. And as you rightly said, that even in individuals who may have had a very mild disease or even an asymptomatic disease to begin with, this virus can leave sequelae, including a long COVID syndrome for
Which
people.
brings me to my second question, Dr. Sitesh. I was about to ask you this. Does long COVID happen to people who had severe infection, or can it happen to people even with a mild infection?
So it can certainly occur to anyone who has had a COVID-19 infection. And this includes people who have even had asymptomatic infection, because there have been very clearly case reports of people who did not even know they had COVID-19, who had never had a positive nasopharyngeal swab or antibody or antigen test. And several weeks or months down the road, later on have developed complications related to the COVID infection that they very silently had. And hence that makes this very, very concerning to us as physicians, and also for all of us to recognize, because we used to think that the people who had it mild or had it asymptomatic got away with very little. But turns out, no, the virus, either through the parasympathetic nervous system or the sympathetic nervous system, or through the effect on the cells in the body that it has infected, or even through other mechanisms that we are still learning, seems to leave these different syndromes and symptoms in a person. And these can range, as you rightly said, right from lung damage and fibrosis in the lung for people who have been on oxygen, developed high resolution CT scan changes, to myocarditis and having heart related diseases for those who have had microclots or microthrombi in the arteries of their heart, or actually direct effect to their heart muscle, and all the way to people experiencing extreme fatigue to the point where they can't go back to work and do their daily routine normally. So it clearly is leaving a long sequence of issues, even for people who have recovered and some who didn't even know they had the infection.
Right. Doctor, as per the report, long COVID may be infecting those who have recovered from the virus in 4 different ways. Affecting those, of course, so which also include permanent organ failure. Would you elaborate on these syndromes?
Sure. So, in the more permanent organ damage, as I mentioned, there is the commonest one, which is pulmonary fibrosis, where it's almost like a very microscopic scar that forms in the lungs. This is related to the fine micro blood clots that occur in the lungs, which later on leave these scars and make it hard for the person to breathe, or have a cough, or have breathlessness, or have reduction in their oxygen levels at times of physical activity. There are many ways it can present. With the heart, as I mentioned, it can come up as chest pain, it can come up as abnormalities on the ECG, it can come up as potentially even a dilated or an enlarged heart and other such complications, besides having ischemic heart disease, which is the common heart attack as we know. With the post-COVID intensive care unit syndrome, what ends up happening is, for someone who has been through 10, 14, 15 days in the ICU, they have psychological, emotional, as well as physical sequelae, almost like a post-traumatic syndrome that a person going through a very major life-altering experience can have. And that is being seen in people coming back with, again, respiratory symptoms. It can come back as psychological symptoms, anxiety, panic, depression, many other ways that it can present. When we talk about the post-COVID fatigue, that's probably one of the commonest thing that we see in our day-to-day practices, where people who have had the COVID-19 infection just feel muscle aches, body pain, or just pure fatigue, where they feel they don't have the energy to do what they used to do before very easily. And I think that is probably one of the commonest things that we see in the post-COVID long COVID syndrome. The
Right.
last one, as you had mentioned, is the people who have ongoing symptoms. So we've had people who we know have lost their smell, and even after 4 months, their smell has not completely come back, or has come back only 50 or 60%. We've had people who have had inflammatory markers raised in their body. Possibly it could be an autoimmune process that they have now gone into, which viruses have been known to cause autoimmune processes even after a person has recovered from the infection. And the list is very long, right from hearing to losing of hair. People have lost their hair very significantly after a COVID infection. People have had ongoing body pain, muscle aches, fatigue, cough, breathlessness. So long COVID can include those people who never completely recovered from the infection also.
Right. So, doctor, these 4 symptoms, so to speak, which we're talking about, how do these impact people in different age groups?
So it turns out that while majority of the people affected are the elderly individuals above the age of 50 or 60, we are seeing long COVID even in young people, even in 20, 30 and 40-year-olds. We have seen prolonged symptoms even after they have stopped shedding the virus, even after their tests have come normal. They continue to have symptoms. And it turns out that as the age group gets higher, so if you look at the 60 to 80 age group, up to 50 to 60 or maybe even 70%, according to some studies, are having some long COVID symptoms. Whereas when we look at the 20 to 40 age group, the number may be around 15 to 20 or 30%. So the numbers are less, but even young people are getting affected. And even as we had seen with children, Neha, there are some children who develop a multi-system inflammatory syndrome that affects multiple organs in their body, including the heart. And now this MISC syndrome is now being seen in adults also several weeks or months after recovering from the infection. And that's purely an autoinflammatory, autoimmune process.
So then, what can one do to recover from long COVID, and why is it important to not take it lightly or, per se ignore the symptoms? And also, I'd like to add, the researchers say that thousands of people across the world could be living with ongoing COVID. What does all this mean for our healthcare system and decision makers, and how can the system help these people?
So I think that as has been done in several parts of the world, we are going to start having specialized long COVID outpatient departments and long COVID centers. We are certainly inviting people to come and see us if they are having any residual symptoms. And this is something that patients and their family members need to recognize. Doctors, family physicians, general practitioners need to recognize that this is not just the person having some kind of psychological trauma, but there are physical reasons why people are suffering and they need help. And so that help is what the healthcare system and the governmental agencies can focus on and provide, so that even after the virus and the number of new cases and the number of severe cases go down, these people will require medical care, will require identification that this is why they are having the problem and require treatment. One of the main things that people can do, which has been uniformly understood by us as physicians, is that they should not rush and hurry themselves back to getting back to a normal life again. They really have to realize that this virus saps a lot out of the body in some people, and they need to take it easy and they need to gradually ease themselves back into their routine, into their daily life, into their work schedule. And if they push themselves too hard too soon, they may end up with more trouble than they did before. And I think
Right.
this is a very important message. And the second one is recognizing that you can catch the infection again. So you still have to wear your mask, you still have to do physical distancing, and you still have to use your hand washing and hand sanitizing. So taking care of yourself after you recover from COVID-19 is very, very important on an ongoing basis, and taking it easy is just as important.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sitesh, for joining us with all of those important insights. Well, remember, long COVID can affect you even months after you have defeated the deadly virus. Don't take it lightly. Go meet a doctor in case you're facing any of these symptoms. But of course, don't forget to, in fact, chill and, take it lightly whenever it is required. Many thanks for watching. If at all you like this video, do not forget to subscribe Newsland Digital. Thank you very much for watching. Keep those masks on.